You don't want me to sign them? No problem. You can order from Amazon.com, all right? I noticed after a while that when these guys overcome their anger, they have amazing ideas about starting a business, but because they've been told that if you don't get a loan from the bank, or if you don't have a 5-year plan, or if you don't do this, and it's just simply not true, it's the first step. With faith, then all things are possible. So, but the most important thing is to return to the Father. That yearning that you have, that emptiness, that void, is not for more stuff. It's not for more friends. It is a return to the Father, because there's no way you can return to God and be angry at your earthly father. So thank you all so much, right? People around the world donated to Bond at rebuildingtheman.com, or they call 800-411-2663, and we're still committed to pointing the right way for men and women to return to the Father. So, here's what I recommend. I invite you to download my silent prayer.
I know some people have called in and they wonder if the silent prayer is working. And I just want to take a second and to tell them that it works. You just have to stick with it.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I started doing before I even forgave my parents. And I was so depressed and suicidal at some times that I just would have to stop in the middle of my job or whatever I was doing and go into the silent prayer. And it really does help. Like, I don't have those anymore.
Amazing. You haven't seen anything yet. Doubt every thought. Bring every thought into captivity. Just let them all pass. Don't judge them. You haven't seen anything. It gets better and better and better and easier. So my gift to you, no charge, at rebuildingtheman.com/church. Anytime you have situations happening in your life, always be still. Don't overreact. Most of the people that I know, they say, oh, I know Jesus. I love Jesus. I'm an observer. And as soon as something don't go their way, they friend, your preacher, your teacher. It's your problem. Why you think you tick? It didn't go your way or the way you think it should go. Don't have a way you think it should go. Let life just happen. Thoughts make you think that life should go the way you want it to go. And if it doesn't, if someone don't do or say or act the way you think they should act, you hate them. And then you blame them for being mad. It's the darndest thing I ever seen. But it's amazing to see it. So relax. Isn't he Mexican?
Colombian.
He calls himself American.
What is this?
Anchor Baby.
And in this corner, it's the American Anchor Baby.
Daddy's home. That's an offensive term. People find that hurtful.
You mean it's not politically correct? Excuse me. I'll use the word anchor baby.
You know, he's an anchor baby in Canada.
Tell him we still rolling with Trump, too.
Anchor baby, the whole thing sounds horrific. You're just making it sound like immigrants are these horrific, greedy people.
Ustedes pueden aceptar mi negocio o aceptar las consecuencias. Plata o plomo.
So you would be considered white, in my opinion.
You the blackest one in this room.
I think so.
And what happened was his mama got pregnant on the other side of the border, and then a few hours before, just before it was time for him to pop out, she jumped across the border and let him fall on American soil. So he became the anchor baby. You don't call him the anchor baby for nothing. Amazing.
We like this anchor baby, right?
Hello, I'm the American Anchor Baby, and this is my show. Thanks for tuning in, folks, on this fine Wednesday. What a fine Wednesday it is to be back with you today We got a bit of a show to get into. We got some stuff to get into. So let me welcome all my lovely viewers here on rumble.com/American Anchor Baby, punchy.tv/Anchor Baby, and of course, my people here on YouTube who are, of course, showing decorum, I imagine. Obviously, right? When I'm not looking, even when I'm not looking there, YouTube, are you showing decorum even when I'm not looking? What kind of person are you really? Huh? That means click the like button. Don't be rude. You're coming in here. You're taking a seat. You're asking for food. Hey, someone fix me a plate. You don't have a woman. Your woman, I mean, you can get up and fix your own plate, but you're like, somebody fix me a plate. And it's like, where's your wife? I'm sorry, I don't see your mama around here. I don't see your mama here. Click the like button. Don't be rude. Come on in. Say hello. Leave a little comment for your Anchor Baby. Tell me what you like, what you don't like. And you could call in. You know, the lines are open. And you know the Anchor Baby had to be different. But we're in the chair. That means the number is 888-775-3773. Some visual representation for all of you. That's 888-775-3773. Dang, Nick looking kind of thick. Pause. Folks, only because you mentioned it. Only because you mentioned it. I shall speak on this. Is Nick bulking? Is it really like that? Like, this shirt is big, okay? You got to understand. This shirt is just like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know. What is this? This is like, what is this? My hip hop shirt? Excuse me. I have my hip hop shirt on. But I got to say, only because you're bringing it up. Only because you're bringing it up. You know, why speak on me? We need to get to the news. But I'm having trouble buttoning my pants. What? It's like that. We're getting thick, folks. We're growing out this way. It's strength, hopefully, mostly. Okay, but the size augmentation is going this way. It is in fact going this way. Nick, 140 pounds soaking wet. Come on. That's what happens when you wash the same shirt for 20 years. Get out. You're banned. But yeah, I'm thinking my 1 rep max. Remember when we did the 200-pound 1 rep max challenge on the JLP show? We some very generous donors forced me. I think we could blow way past our 200-pound 1 rep max on the bench press. But anyways, it's enough of that. Only because you mentioned it. Welcome to the show. 888-775-3773. If you got something on your mind, something you want to speak on, something you want to talk about. That's the estrogen. Okay, whatever, man. So where were we? I wanted to get into some necromancy I was watching on the internet, you know? The power of the evil powers of, what would be a succinct definition of necromancy? Is it just raising the dead? The supposed practice of communicating with the dead, especially in order to predict the future. See, I didn't know that. I didn't know that was an aspect of necromancy. See, I didn't know that. I thought I'd be thinking that's more like a clairvoyant, kind of more psychically linked powers, you know, individual. I was thinking necromancy, you know, that's like dark covenants with death, allowing you to have dominion over death a little bit, right? Being able to use death for your own gain, okay? How about that for some necromancy definitions? Check this necromancy I've been watching on the online. Okay, there's been nonstop necromancy from Christians, conservatives, Republicans. Nick, what are you talking about? I'm telling you, they've been using dead people and using them for gain, political gain, wealth, augmenting, you know, advancing your social media footprint and in the minds of people. Call that some sort of, maybe not necromancy, some kind of mancy. Spells in 2025. Yeah. Remember when Erica Kirk was kneeling down this casket holding the dead body of her husband, recently dead, barely cold, and she's like they're posting these pictures on the internet, parading him. As you see his dead hand, she's holding it, she's crying. But TPUSA, right? The movement, the GOP. Am I being a little hard on this guy here? Is he a high-level necromancer like Erica Kirk? Am I being a little hard, maybe? Nick looking very hip-hop today. No, of course, it's all good, Mason. No worries. It's all jokes in the chat. If I take it the wrong way, that's on me. That's not on you. Necroman. So is Erica Kirk... Is this person a high-level necromancer? How do you say this? What? Necromancer? A practitioner of necromancy, like Erica Kirk? I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little tough on this guy. Vivek Ramaswamy, we know him a little. We know Vivek. He, too, invokes the name of Charlie. Charlie Kirk. He's dead. Rest in peace and all that. So Vivek here, he too. I forget when this was. I'm thinking this was recent. It was posted recent, and he posts this: the subject of my last conversation with Charlie Kirk. What is an American? Oh, this is important, right? If he's bringing it, right? Because it's like Charlie Kirk. Everybody cares about him. They're suddenly really care about what he was saying and thinking. And Vivek's like, well, guess what? I could tell you a little bit of what he was saying and thinking, which is very important to all of you. Let me tell you about my last conversation with Charlie Kirk about what is an American. And I'm pulling this up now. Let me see if I'm set for this. And it's a bit of a clip here. I'm trying not to watch all of it. But you might be somewhat familiar with this conversation. What is an American? The ideas... the blood and soil, the parents, all topics you're maybe somewhat familiar with. Let's let Vivek speak on this a little bit. Vivek Ramaswamy, Charlie Kirk, their last conversation about what is an American. Oh, man, what did I do? Here we go.
My last discussion with Charlie Kirk. I spoke to him on August 25th, met him in Central Ohio. There's two of us sitting one-on-one in a conference room in Delaware County. And we spent about an hour talking about what is an American. I asked him the question. I'll tell you what he told me in response. It's a classic method he had. He would say, I know what it's not. I'll tell you what it's not. It's not a race, and it's not government paperwork either. I agree with him on that. Our American identity is not just about a race or a lineage. You could be of a particular race or lineage, but if you don't believe in the founding ideals of this country, you're not really an American. You could have crossed the border physically, and the government could give you a piece of paper. But if you don't believe in the ideals of this country, you're not really an American in the truest sense of that word either. What does it mean to be an American? I believe it means we believe in those ideals that set our country into motion 250 years ago. It means we believe in merit, that the best person gets the job regardless of their skin color. It means we believe in the rule of law. I say this as the proud son of legal immigrants to this country. That means your first act of entering this country cannot break the law. It means we believe in free speech and open debate, whether you're on the left or right, whether you're Nick Fuentes or Jimmy Kimmel, it doesn't matter. You get to express yourself without government censorship. You get to speak your mind on a college campus without fear of somebody putting a bullet in your neck. It means that words are not violence, that violence is violence, and violence is never an acceptable response to words. It means we believe in accountability. It means we believe in the founding culture that set this country into motion the first time around, that we're ambitious, that we take risks. Sometimes we fail, but we pick ourselves up and take those risks again. It means that we're ambitious, we're heroic, even brave when called upon by our country to do what is right in our hour of need. It means that we're curious about the world around us, whether it's exploring the moon or eventually landing on Mars, and that we believe it is our manifest destiny to still lead it. That's what it means to be an American. I believe that creed still exists, but now is our moment to actually revive it, that idea of the American dream.
An anchor baby with the heart of an American, maybe. I don't want to. I'm messing around a bit, but look, It sounded nice, right? Those are like nice. I'm sure people listening are like, yeah, I do want to be heroic and brave. And those are nice. What's the limiting factor here? That's my question. That would be my question of Vivek. Well, is there a single thing that's limiting? You know, so I'm just ambitious. You're ambitious, you're an American. You're ambitious and you take risks. You're an American. Come on over. But here's where it gets interesting, I think. Because you don't even have to go down that way. Think about it like this. It's an absolutely moot thing to even argue. Because is it the founding culture, but can you only have it if you have the founding parents, etc.? It's a moot point. Vivek, think about it. They already don't have the right mentality. They already don't have the right ideals. They already don't believe in the rule of law, free speech. We could endlessly argue this all day, and I feel like America's been doing that for decades, well before I was even paying attention to this. Endlessly arguing, just, what is an American? Well, what is America? Well, it's these ideas. Well, it's the blood. Well, it's the parents. Well, it's the blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. I bet you there's a lot of people who are watching that, like thinking this or that about Vivek or whatever. But let's be real. Some sentences and stuff were like, well, yeah, I mean, that just makes sense. This is true. About the mentality, about the behavior, the spirit, the heart of someone who is so-called American, right? Believing in merit, believing in those ideals. That's kind of how Trump thinks, right? He's trying to defend that. When I think about Trump, he tries to defend that culture, that which you could call our American ideals. And he pretty much supports anybody who supports that. And I get that. I love that. And I think we can understand some of this about believing in those things, especially at a time now when so many have been here for years that weren't originally even born here. About accountability and all that. But he says that about he says like there was one point he's like talking about like Americans taking these risks and competing and all that. Why did they have to do that with the whole world? No one can really answer that. You don't ask that of anybody else. And put it like this. Again, bringing it back to this point I make it. Total moot point. And we've spent decades going back and forth on it. They already don't have the right ideals. But is it blood? Is it skin color or not? Can you be an American? Well, let's even following your criteria there, sir. The vast majority of the people you're talking about, I know he came legal. But for every Vivek, there's like 9 legal Viveks that hate America. And I'm not just making that up. Okay? I'm not just making that up. I mean, you could go, I have a couple of links on stats, but we'll just do the Pew one here. It's just obvious. You can know this just from looking at stuff and voting and all that, but it's this like study on Asian Americans. Shout out to the Asian Americans. And they are divided, here as under Hindu, Buddhist, Catholic, Protestant, Evangelical, unaffiliated. That's how Pew, at least in this survey, separated them. They're asking about party identification. You got 72% of Hindus on Democrat. 72. And that's just on a general question of which way do you lean? Pardon. Political ideology. I mean, they call themselves moderate, but everybody calls themselves moderate. Then they do have a bigger liberal lean than this conservative percentage of just 14%. I mean, we could just go on and on. I mean, on these ideals, Vivek, they're not there. They're already not there. So we don't even have to argue that. Because we can even just shake hands and say, you know what? Yeah, put her there. That's true. It's deeper than skin color. And upon looking deeper than skin color, well, I don't know. Rumble's a little glitchy. I should watch it. Thank you. Do you see this? That's not even there. So upon looking deeper than skin color, sir, they're not there. They're all Democrat. And the things that they say were important, it's social programs, housing, and stuff for minority communities. It's all here in the Pew stuff. You look it up, whatever. You can look it up.
That was the subject of
So,
my last...
this conversation comes up a lot. And I notice it's like maybe it's something about the hype or the emotion of itself, and you could get just caught up. And it's just one of those discernments. It's spiritual to me, where that people cannot see something so obvious that something spiritual is going on, a trick of sorts, an obfuscation that maybe even on purpose. Mic check, nice. Racists use Rumble. Those are my friends, man. Okay? We're supposed to love all people. What are you, not a Christian? Okay. I'm looking at my chat. Where was I? Look. That's already right. It's so obvious that people don't talk about it. They won't say it. What's the obvious thing that people are like just going back and forth? Is it blood and soil? Is it ideals? Well, if it's just ideals, they don't even have that. Okay. That was that. But that's so interesting to me. That's just very interesting to me, don't you think? And some people are like, okay, I bet you some people will be like, but Nick, all you did was show me that they're heavily Democrat. That doesn't mean they hate America. Do we need to get into that? Do we need to point these ones out? When you vote, when your primary motivation to vote is about what your side, what your minority side can get, you don't see yourself as American. And that's kind of like the Democrat view, okay? It is. I mean, when someone like Gavin Newsom won't honor an ICE detainer on a triple deported criminal who then runs over an 11-year-old, and ICE is like, hey, California, how about you just, there he is again. We've located him. Hey, we're ICE. You guys arrested him, California. We're saying to you guys, when don't release him. Don't do anything other than hand him over to us, because we got to for sure deal with him. When someone like Gavin Newsom refuses to honor such a thing, that's from Homeland Security. They're the ones kind of making this noise about it. When they do this, you got to understand the mentality. Their thinking is literally, well, native-born Americans run over children too. Native-born Americans get drunk. I don't know if this person was drunk, but they get drunk. They do crime too. They kill people too. That's the thinking here. Native-born Americans run over children too. That's not a reason to deport. Man, and I was having a discussion with somebody, and we were trying to figure out, well, wait, what's the like prior, what's the like a priori reason? Is that even the right usage here? A priori, like before any physical evidence, right? Before just kind of just logically deducing something. The prior reason, let's just move on from that. The prior reason, what is the like original, what is the like bedrock reason for them even coming? Now you'll hear all the time the Democrat response is essentially, once they're already here, people will complain. They'll say, well, they shouldn't be here. They're criminals, etc. The response is usually, well, they're actually just as American, and they contribute. But that's just the response when they're already here. What is the reasoning for policies for them to even come and all that? Now I'm saying things that I already kind of know the answers to. I kind of already know the answers to, right? I mean, the number one reason is economic, but you're not going to have a government. You're not going to have a government try and justify the underlying reasoning like that. It's far too risky. You're not going to have the government go around and say, well, we need to offset demographic decline. We need to offset the decline of our population. They're not going to tell you that. But that's what's going on. It's the main reason, economic reasons. But I was having this discussion with him, and he's like, but what is the reasoning? You notice besides what I just told you, but will never be stated, the only stated like justification is, well, they're here and they're coming. It's just kind of like the hands go up and say, well, there they are clamoring at our border. What are you going to do? Send them away? And that's literally their thinking. So your life, that's how they see your life. You understand this? Well, Americans rape too. Doesn't matter that this Somalian was given, raped twice. This Somalian Abdi Hamad Bil Muhammad. Doesn't matter he raped twice, given plea deals, let out, and then months later raped again. Doesn't matter to these people because, again, they are just as American. Americans rape too. That's how they see it. Americans kill and do crimes too. So what are you, a racist?
This is Hennepin County Attorney Mary Moriarty.
Oh, and these types that run it with short hair, female, educated attorneys. They're like, this is the right thing to do.
There are reports that the Trump administration is planning to send ICE agents here to the Twin Cities to target our neighbors of Somali descent. This is part of a recent pattern to single out our Somali community members. This is rooted in the idea that if they spew hatred, it will divide us.
Singling out Somali community members is simply pointing out crimes that they're doing. That's what they say. That's what they're saying here. To say, well, Somalians are committing more crime. It's a disproportionate even. You are singling them out. They're just as American, she thinks.
We won't let that happen. There are no roving gangs of Somali people in this community harassing, threatening, doing anything to any of our community members. And let me repeat that again.
So she's making this whole thing against Trump.
Because I've heard this often.
Mary Moriarty is her name. They're calling her here. Mary Moriarty.
There are no roving gangs of Somalis targeting or harassing or doing anything inappropriate to any community members. Those are simply lies. It is not true. Our office at the
You notice how they have to give you like this specific thing? There's no roving gangs, okay, going around. Okay, there are no roving gangs armed. It's like, how many things do you need to add? There's no roving gangs of more than 10 people, okay, and being very common more often than not doing that. It's like, how many qualifiers do you need to put here to make it sound like we're the crazy ones for saying, like, try to make it sound real crazy, like, does it have to be roving gangs? Does it have to be that specific? Does it have to be roving gangs doing XYZ? They are committing disproportionate crime. They scamming Minnesota. These reports are coming out. Tim Walz, Minnesota, the billions. I saw this on Fox. The billions that they're scamming out of Minnesota. So anyways, that's why they do it. Just wanted to say that. So when Gavin Newsom, when Mary Moriarty does this, because when it comes to being an American, they see it as, well, Americans are slobs and criminals and child rapists. As far as I'm concerned, that's how they see it. So that just orders my thinking a bit. Because you could get in these, you, even just in your head, which is silly, just arguing or discussing something and like back and forth. Thinking you're confronting intellectual, I don't know, just like logical arguments, but they're not. Their bedrock reasoning comes from something insane, which is this person has brown skin and does not deserve to be in jail. Like that. That's what they're thinking. When Abdihamad Bil Mohammed commits multiple crimes, they're thinking, well, that's on us. What did society do at this point? What did society do what did we do to Mohammed here to cause him to rape? And so, I'm just repeating these things. It's just kind of drilling in. It's like, now you don't have to like intellect. You know, these arguments are not in good faith. They hate you. They hate, well, the American. I'm thinking about the American, even the Vivek American. They hate you too. Supporting Trump and all that. How dare you? Some of the things I was thinking about, we need Captain Phillips to smack the crap out of that lady. I disavow such violence. Who's Captain Phillips? Oh, that's a movie. You mean like the Somali movie? Like, I'm the captain now? They have Somali gangs here too. Who brought them here? Why? Who the F knows? They have machete fights in the dang malls. That's crazy, man. It is like this global thing. And, oh, you know what? I think I saw some calls. My bad. I'll get to you. 888-775-3773. I've been meaning to get to a bunch of this research, Mayna, and hopefully maybe we could do tomorrow. I don't just want to half A this one. But yeah, there's some really cool reports being put together all across Georgia, Miami, and even around the world. These Lutheran services and others, Catholic, I put quotation marks, Catholic, NGOs basically. These big NGOs are putting hella money, and they're getting like well documented, at least by a couple people here. And these NGOs are just hell bent on bringing in Somalians over wherever you are, Mena. It's crazy. It's crazy. And it's got, look, if it really has to be the same reasoning. It's the same reasoning we've been hearing all these years. It's really so on the nose now. There's no more real language to cover it anymore. Either the judges, activist people are either too dumb and unsophisticated enough to hide it. I don't know what it is. But now the judges, the people, they just tell you. They're like, no, we can't put him in jail. I don't want to. The Seattle mayor, I don't desire to put criminals in jail. What happened to their life that they're in jail 9 times? I have no desire to put them in jail. That's how they think. And what am I saying by that's how they think? It's us versus whites. Take down the rich. Take down the rich. Yeah, sure, there's like students and maybe they're white and it's like they're talking about the isms and like the capitalists and stuff. Well, guess what the rest of the world thinks when they hear that conversation? They're talking about white people. You got gold in your head. Excuse me, white. Hey, get the gold in the white man's head. But yeah. So, just giving you my opinion on the underpinning philosophy that justifies the NGOs, the activists, the judges, and this whole class of people to empower criminals, release them, lower bail bonds, having all these justice reforms and all that. The underpinning philosophy is this is a white man's world, and that's the crime. Tell me where I'm wrong. 888-775-3773. I'm willing to hear y'all out. Bald white men have magic juju in their heads. This is known in Africa. Yeah, I'm not playing with that. But yeah, what are y'all saying about this? Don't trust your lying eyes. That's what they want you to do, man. Chris. This little lesbian. What's up, man, Madrano? Everyone loves Santa. Just dress the ice agents in elf costumes. Genius. Does everyone love Santa? Is it true? Does literally everyone love Santa? Like it doesn't have to be Christian or whatever. Baldman54 quotes me, says, "This is a white man's world," and then in that double, back-to-back laughing, crying emojis on it says, "Stop it." He's laughing so hard, like this is just an insane thing that I just said. But you missed it. Although I we could discuss what I think about that. That I wasn't saying what I thought about it. I'm saying what this world thinks about it. They're the ones saying the white man runs the world. They're the ones calling them supremacists above them. The white man runs the world, and that's the crime. That's why XYZ, what I was saying, why brown people should be let out of jail. Oh, let me check skin color. Oh, yeah, he didn't commit crime. It's you think it's not that crazy, but it is. It is. So I wasn't even saying that. That's y'all, not you, Bold Man, but the world. Hey, what's up, Natalie? Hey, knock. Santa's not evil. Come on, so people disagree. I don't know. I'm trying to think. Did my Muslim friends and Indian friends and Asian friends, I don't remember them hate. I don't really ever remember them hating Santa. They might have had something to say about white people or something, but is Santa just the white man's religion? I mean, because that's the part that I'm thinking would make a general Santa positive uptake make it like kind of difficult. Amazing. So I see calls coming in. I want to get to all of you. Thank you so much. 888-775-3773. I will get right to you here. We got super chats, coffees as well to get to. buymeacoffee.com/anchor baby. So thank you for that. In fact, there's a couple coffee here's I want to read before I get to my calls here. Someone with the back-to-back coffees and the generosity. I don't even know if you're the same someone with the same generosity, because I'm pretty sure that's how Buy Me a Coffee works. Someone could be anyone, but you know what? Thank you. I appreciate the support. It says, perhaps white men will be established as they are erased, and thereby escaping karmic binding. Or not. What is that? Karmic binding? What are karmic bonds? Karmic binding? What the heck is that? What do you mean by your super chat? Your coffee's someone. Perhaps white men will be established as they are erased. Like they'll retreat or something, like make their own place and say, hey, as we splinter, America splinters or something. It's like white men establishing themselves. Hey, we must do what our ancestors did. Or I don't know. And thereby escaping karmic binding. I don't know what you mean by that. Maybe you mean like what's coming to them. So I have to hear you out. One more coffees from someone says, if you were to show JLP anime, I would say that he should be familiar with it. As anime pours into you, because it was always meant for Japan, it goes back, way back. You know, I had a Japanese person tell me that not too long ago about anime being for Japanese. Like he had this very nationalistic thing about it. And I didn't get a chance to ask him deeper on it. And I heard that once before by the creator of Dragon Ball. They were telling him, hey, why do you depict black people so racist? And I'm like, Mr. Popo is not a black person. Mr. Popo is like a jinn spirit. He's not a black person. Okay. And the creator was like, yeah, anime is for Japanese people. You wouldn't get it. So yeah, don't know if we're showing JLP the anime Jesus or some other thing, but some of you guys want to culturally shock Jesse. That might be interesting. So anyways, I want to get to my calls. I appreciate you holding, and then we got more stories and all that. Josh out of Georgia, man, I appreciate your call. You're on the air.
Hey, man. I was going to comment on that the white man's world comment that you just mentioned there. I would say someone said it's not a white man's world, but in a way, it is in a way, in that, you know, it's the best quality of life countries are the majority white countries, which is what everybody wants, is the top quality of life.
Yep.
That's why people are coming here. but it's kind of like the man. I mean, like
2 hours left on your shift.
Uh-oh. 2 hours left on your shift?
Yeah, let me turn this. I'm sorry about that. Let me turn this thing down.
I have so many questions now about the industry. What is that? What's the machine? What's the gear? No, but let's go back to what you were saying.
Oh, man, yeah. I mean, that's the ELD, man. That's
ELD? Sorry, we're getting terms?
Yeah.
We're getting industry terms? Hold on.
That's the electronic logging device.
Okay, we'll go back to that. We'll get back to that. You were in the middle of something.
Yeah, but, that was interesting. It's not a white man's world. It basically is, because, the best countries are the white man's countries, where it's majority white, That's where everybody wants to live. But
it's not. Oh, please, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, it's really just like knowing your role, knowing what you're good at, and it's the same thing with women. Some women are jealous of men, and they want to be like men, so they go work their career and they think they're equal to men, and. But that's not their role, but they want it. They've either been brainwashed into it and thinking, oh, I'm equal. The white man isn't better than me, or the man isn't better than me. And, if you're not like a jealous type of a person, you just recognize that, hey, they're better at this, and let them quarterback this, That's what they're good at, I'm not that good at that. Maybe I can do something to assist them in what he's good at. That way we all can win.
I like how you take this as totally uncontroversial. And it really shouldn't be that controversial. You really can, in my opinion, answer such a question. I mean, if you wanted to just have like a lighthearted discussion with someone, I think you could even like make an answer. Like, what is a white man's world? Like, define such a thing. I mean, let's start with and it could be totally devoid of like taking it personal or anything. It could just be uncontroversial. You could say the modern world we enjoy now. Again, someone could tell me where I'm wrong here. I'm willing to hear it. It's just this is how I see it, and I've seen quite a lot of evidence for it. I mean, you could tell me I'm wrong, but the modern world we live in, both political systems like democracy, etc., blah blah blah, the technological stuff, and really the world we live in. You can make an argument, it's the white man's world, it's the Western world, Europe and beyond, and the countries that came out of Britain. They have run the world in many ways, and culturally too. You think about countries oh, I had this thing that fits exactly what we're talking about, but I can't quite remember. I had a little segment on women in India, I think. It was like feminism in India. And it was, just to be succinct here, the report was interesting because it showed how they got it from like the West in a sense, and then you could in some way. And here's what I'm getting at: that you could say that's the white man's world. When you have Black Lives Matter in every corner of the world, you see what I'm saying? And I'm giving you bad examples. There's way better. They're movies and literally everything. Yeah, going to every corner of the world. Yeah, that's a white man's world. Or you could say, let's start with just America. You could just let's say you live here and you work here, you could say, you can make an argument there about being the white man's country, white man's world. So it really doesn't even have to be about the white man should own the world and be all this stuff that's, I don't know, offends people. It could just be like factual. Like, tell me where I'm wrong so far.
Right. Yeah. It's just objective, It's, because, when I think of India, they were colonized a little bit by the English, right? Or parts of them, right? Of course.
Yes, the British.
The British.
Ran India for a while.
That's where Rudyard Kipling, he lived in India for a while, didn't he?
I believe he was born in India.
He was born in India.
Yeah.
He's English, though. He's considered English.
English parents, yeah.
Yeah, with English parents.
Was Rudyard Kipling born in India? Now, Rudyard Kipling is the author of the If poem, if someone here might be familiar. But I believe he was born in British India. Yeah, born in British India, according to Wikipedia. And that might just mean like a British person. I think the Indians born at that time, I forget, were like allowed into Britain. Or it's worth looking into, but don't take me on my word on some of those things.
Right. It's something related to India. I know he wrote the Jungle Book, and that was based off of India, and that's where he's commenting on a lot of human characteristics.
That's true.
But he also wrote. You heard of the poem he wrote called "White Man's Burden," right?
I am familiar with that. The White Man's Burden.
That's exactly what we're talking about here. Is this a white man's world? And what he's saying is that it's just that white men are just good at a certain thing, and they have that God-given gift, and it's their burden to spread it around the world because God gave it to them, and if God gives you a gift, you have to give it to your fellow man. You have to serve your fellow man. That's
an interesting
your purpose
perspective,
in life,
man.
Yeah,
it's an interesting perspective, and I've thought about the white man's burden in the poem, a number of times. I've definitely thought about the many things you're bringing up.
Yeah. But people twist it. They say, if you read the Wikipedia on that poem, they say, oh, it's an imperialist, colonialist, colonizer, white supremacy poem. They twisted it completely. Yeah. Just like in the If poem where it says, if you can find your words twisted by knaves to make a trap for fool, that's exactly what they did there. That's exactly what they did to most of history, man. They just twist it and they make it seem like, oh, that's white supremacy. You think you're better than me.
And it's like, I love that you're bringing that up because they do always leave out parts of the people they talk about. They dehumanize them in a sense. I'm remembering going to see these houses in Georgia. I went to go visit Georgia, and we did these like old slave house tours, and and they were telling us all about the slave masters and how terrible they were. And then at the end, they show us these like letters and writings of this. This particular family was known as the Owens family, and they would show us these writings. But before we went into the room to read what they wrote themselves, they made sure to tell us, "Hey, by the way, when you read these little letters and diary stuff." And they talking all nice, saying they love their slaves and they want to like protect them and all that. Yeah, don't believe them because they didn't free them, so they're evil. And it's like you see, they love to leave that out, and it's like maybe there was something wrong. It's like if I was supposed to just take this logically, and someone's bringing this topic up about Rudyard Kipling, or the slaves in Georgia, or the Owens family, if I'm supposed to have like some middle ground or something, and like somewhat believe somewhat of their say, why do they leave out? Why do they try so hard to leave out these human parts of these people? They seem to act like anybody else. They love they love those people. They got real close with one slave. They're like, we gotta help her. She's sick. It sounded like normal people to me.
Right. Yeah, because it makes logical sense that if you own a cow, you're gonna want your cow to be strong and healthy, and you're going to want to pamper it, and so it'll work good for you. Everyone knows that.
And there was not even an indication in the letters that they saw these slaves as a cow or something. They used their names. They were like, we need to help them and protect them, and she's sick. She needs a doctor. Bring her into the city right away. Pay for all of it.
Yeah.
And they never said cow. They never said slave. They called them by their names.
Yeah, it runs deep, man. That brainwashing runs really. Yeah, I grew up on that, so I'm very familiar with it, and it leads. They just want you to be angry, and they want you to hate and fight amongst each other. That's all they want. Yeah.
Interesting, man.
Yep.
Anything else you want to speak on here, sir?
No, that's all, man.
What's a ELD? Do all ELDs look the same? Is it made by like a company? Because like the devices in the avionics in an aircraft are made by a couple companies. One is called like Garmin.
Yeah, they have. Okay,
go ahead. What do they do in trucking?
They have different types of companies. Qualcomm, Garmin is one. There's a bunch of them.
Garmin does the ELDs for trucking.
Some of them. I know they do the GPSs. I got a Garmin GPS.
Okay, cool.
And you know what? It's kind of like, trucking is kind of like slavery, bro.
Explain.
Because it's like, I mean, I'm a company driver, right? So I drive for a company. I don't own anything. They house me. They feed me. They I just work. I just do the work. It's like I'm like a sharecropper, you know. They pay me, and it's like, what is the difference between this and slavery? It's a white man that owns the company I work for.
You're allowed to leave. Josh, you're allowed to leave. But why would you want to leave?
But why would I leave? Then how can I pay my bills if I leave? You know? So it's like, why would you're gonna have to work either way? So like, what is really, you know? And I'm getting taxed out the yin yang. So you know, the IRS is already. I'm tax cattle.
You hear
basically.
About Trump saying that soon they're gonna abolish income tax?
Oh no, I didn't.
I'm gonna get into that next.
Ooh.
Yeah. I'm gonna get into that next. That was kind of
that sounds too good to be true.
It sounds a little right, but it would be one of those like super radical changes, no?
Yeah,
that I haven't seen in my lifetime, or I don't think anybody alive now, right?
That would be the ultimate win for Trump if he could pull that one off. That'd be the ultimate win, man. I think.
Interesting, man.
Abolish income tax. Yeah.
Well, we're gonna get into that, sir. Can you call me again?
Yeah, we'll do, man. Appreciate it.
All right,
yes, sir. All right, man.
You know, I just like the industry lingo. Okay, I like the industry lingo and like what they use. Like if I were to get an ELD device, can I pretend to be a truck in my vehicle? You know what I'm saying? Like what are the necessary like items here, you know? Like anyways, what are the like necessary items? It could very well be just a chip here, ELD device there. And I'm like, I'm basically a trucking company. and this is like, you know how Amazon will have delivery drivers that are sometimes in like regular cars. I don't know if that's like a contractor, some sort of subsidiary. I don't know what kind of company. I don't know what kind of corporate business mechanism is happening there, but obviously this is not that interesting. This is interesting to me. I'm just looking at pictures of this now. Let's move on. Okay, let's just Nit has a BBL device. Not yet. Not yet. Amazing. You chose to do trucking and you can leave if you want. He said it's like slavery, Baldman 54. Like it, right? So Trump says no income tax. Whoa. Hold the phone. Is America about to change in a big way? You're saying abolish? You're saying income tax totally abolished and you're saying soon?
And I believe that at some point in the not too distant future, you won't even have income tax to pay because the money we're taking in is so great, it's so enormous that you're not going to have income tax to pay.
What?
Whether you get rid of it or just keep it around for fun or have it really low, much lower than it is now, but you won't be paying income tax. We've slashed $1 trillion up, and I believe
we've slashed $1 trillion. I don't know how he goes on there, but he's saying interesting things. He's saying we're bringing in trillions with the tariffs. We got enough to do $2,000 dividends for the folks. Don't know if he means like all the time or just one-time payment. I don't know what he meant. He's saying they're bringing in trillions. He's saying the national debt compared to how this is going to work out is peanuts. Peanuts. Yes, the media and the academics, the eggheads, the economists, they're like, sir, but you're going to have to explain your numbers here. The math ain't mathing. We'll get into that in a sec, but so many more. I've had a number of callers call me say, this is bad. I'm like, what's a tariff? And they're like, I don't know, but this is bad. I heard this is bad. And they just have no clue what they're talking about. I mean, did you know there was a tariff era, so to speak, with America? Income tax only started at like 1913. 1770, 1913. A little over 100 years ago. In fact, there might be people alive who were here with the tariff era, maybe. There might be people alive. Let me think. That's like World War I, 1913, 1914. Is there anyone alive still from that time? But yeah, 1913. No, I'm saying no, not even a little bit. Absolutely no permanent federal income tax at that time. All their money was made on tariffs, imported goods. Tariffs on those imported goods. It ran the whole federal government. They also had, and I wonder if they still do, excise taxes. Now, I used to heard it called sin taxes. Excise tax. What's the word excise mean? I know that it's for stuff like liquor, tobacco. But what does that word mean? Excise? A tax levied on certain goods and commodities produced or sold within a country and on license granted for certain activities. Excise taxes on cigarettes. So maybe that word excise doesn't have to do with sinful things, but I've heard of a sin tax, the tax gambling, tobacco, liquor, whiskey. And it paid for stuff. Now, it was a different government, okay? There was practically no federal government, essentially, not in the way we know now. There was one question I had, because this came up, right? Tariffs have come up. And they're saying it won't work. But it won't work. It won't work. You look it up. America was working all the way up till 1913 on tariffs. Okay. It won't work. It won't work. But it worked. There was literally a time when it did. But Nick, the social programs they're saying. But how are you going to pay for the social programs, man? And you know what? I looked it up. If there's no income tax, who pays for Social Security, Medicare, defense, and interest on the debt? By the way, all these things. So pre-1913, I'm looking it up. I'm like, were there any major social programs in the tariff era? And let me see here. Grok, Elon Musk's AI says there were almost none at the federal level. Almost none. Before the income tax, pre-1913, the U.S. had very few federal social programs. Most social welfare services we think of today did not exist at the national level. What existed federally? Civil War pensions and some support for veterans. And that's pretty much it. So what did not exist federally? Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, unemployment insurance, federal minimum wage, food stamps and SNAP, federal housing assistance, federal public education system, no disability insurance, income-based welfare programs, federal student loans or grants, federal health insurance. You know what they're leaving out here? All the immigration stuff, but you could probably file it under there. So none of those things were there before. And so this person who's like, well, what's going to fund all that? I mean, that's actually an interesting question. But here's the thing. All those things suck. It's like, but who's going to fund the social programs? How about let's not fund them? So now that I'm thinking about it, I'm like, this is actually pretty good. All those things are terrible. And America seemed to have been great till 1913, then terrible world wars. And still, a greatness happened. Many countries went amazing, went gangbusters on their GDP, especially America. You know this very well. We're living in this what's the word? Decadence. And what are people doing? We are finding out that all these people, they're fat, sassy, and don't need this, okay? And so to this person who says, who pays for Social Security, Medicare, defense, and interest on the debt? Well, here's the thing. Social Security, Medicare, they weren't even there. But America was paying for defense before any taxes, so don't be obtuse. And then interest on the debt, well, Trump says it's peanuts. And look, the math ain't mathin', apparently. That's what these people, the eggheads, the economists, the media people. Look, first of all, they all don't like him. They hate America, and they hate him. But here's the thing. They're saying, well, we're looking it up, and tariffs have only brought in something like $600 billion so far. How are you going to pay the trillions of social programs? That's where you're starting to, some of the smart people listening, they're like, maybe it's time for those to go away. Or something's got to change in a big way over there. But they're saying the math ain't mathin'. On just the debt alone, just the debt alone, how are you going to pay that? And they bring up Trump's quotes. They quote him saying that it's peanuts. And what does Fortune say? Well, wait, hold on. Where did he put that? What does Fortune respond to that? They're like, well, We asked President Trump to clarify what he means by that when he referenced the national debt as peanuts. But we have no. They give you this response. President Trump is set to raise trillions in revenue for the federal government in the coming years with his tariffs. And then Fortune just says, but we just don't know if that's really going to happen. So you don't know. So all these articles, the eggheads, the economists, you don't know is what you're saying. You don't know. And here's the thing. I don't have to sit here and just tell you everything Trump is saying is going to happen. It's just all true. I don't have to sit here and be like cope or just like make things up. I can just tell you what kind of guy Trump is. You think that Trump, when he says, yeah, you think he doesn't know money and numbers? You think he's going to say, hey, the debt will handle it. The government spending will handle it. You think he's just lying and making that up? If so, that would be absolutely wrong. I'd be with you. I'd be like, what the heck, Trump? But such a thing has to happen. I just don't believe such a thing is or will happen. Should it happen, I'm there with you. Let's go. But that would be such a avowed lie. Like he's saying, he's just gonna lie about the numbers making sense. If so, we'll let's watch. I hope Hake didn't hear Nit say suck. That's just for the show. That's just for the Bambinos listening to the show. Okay, Chris. He's like cringing out there. He's trying to protect the Bambinos. Anyways, I'm messing around. So yeah, they don't know. That's what everybody's saying. They literally tell you they have no clue. So you're just a bunch of naysayers with a bunch of negative attitudes. Where's the can-do attitude? Where the heck is the can-do attitude? You don't know Trump, man. But here's the thing. I don't have to know. I don't have to That's literally what I was just saying. I don't have to know him and we could just watch what he does. And if he lies and does something wrong, then that's wrong. But here's how he would have to be, in this case, he would have to be lying about something so basic like the numbers making sense economically. I think we could see such a thing. So I personally just don't think it's a lie. We'll see. You're right. I don't know him. But that's not what I was saying, Kevin. You doubt these tariffs working? I'd like to know why. How it's worth No, yeah, I'd go on with that. I'd like to know how. Maybe it's true. Maybe you're right. That's why my number is open. That's why my lines are open. But anyways, everybody's so negative. Incredible. Let me see what y'all are saying over here. Thank you, Gregatron. I appreciate that super chat, man. Thanks for the generosity. Says, get him, Nick. You get him, Nick. Thank you, Gregatron. I hear you squat like a mug. I hear you squat like a mug. I forgot what poundage I heard. What's the number? What are you putting on your back and squatting? My legs are mutating, by the way. Gregatron. I'm mutating. I'm trying to think of that movie. Oh man, who am I thinking of? Gregatron squats 800? You mean a world record squat? Hold on. What did Ronnie Coleman squat? He did 1,000 pounds, right? What's the world record squat? I can see if the world record squat is not what I thought, then maybe I can see Gregatron. I hear he's pretty strong. The world record squat is 1,080 pounds, 490 kilograms. What did Ronnie Coleman do? The Ronnie Coleman squat, he did basically 1,000 pounds, no? Oh, he did 800. The 800-pound squat. Famous little moment. I mean, this is from a long time ago now. I wasn't even there. But, we all love Ronnie Coleman. We all love Ronnie. Yeah, buddy, right? Alabama. Police officer. He was a police officer while he was doing this? He looked so funny in his shorts. Because he couldn't wear the pants. But Ronnie Coleman said his only regret in life was not squatting this 2 more times. Yeah, buddy. I can't even hear him. Lightweight. He's like, I could have done that 2 more times. That bar's bending, man. Anyways, some of that. Who's got the number, actually? I want to know. Nah, let's move on. He squats 900 pounds like a mug. I'm not doubting you. I'm just a little surprised if he's really that strong. That's amazing. Hey, Cameron, I appreciate that. Send that suggestion to producer at jesseleepeterson.com. I'm radio at jesseleepeterson.com. You're welcome to send me stuff as well. I'll forward it to the correct people. We love Ronnie. Incredible. 9 back surgeries to prove it. Alias knows. Now, was it from the lifting? Trump squats 1,200. Legatron. You guys are cracking me up today. It may very well have been, man. I really don't know Alias, but yeah, he can barely walk these days. But he seems to have he seems to maintain an amazing attitude. Even though he's apparently an amazing, incredible pain. I don't know. I was about to make a joke, but it's a little too net. I was about Vicodin. Oh, maybe it's the Vicodin. But let me just be clear that I'm messing around. Check this out. This person is not messing around. This person is just cold, just ruthless. Someone we should even use. Someone that in a different world, in an American empire, is someone who could be very useful. Actually, his just ruthless. You might not think Jacob Frey. Actually, I heard him say it. Jacob Frey. You might think ruthless. Really, this little. Some of you are out there. He's got sugar in his tank. Okay, I'm gonna disavow that. You gotta chill out. Okay, he's just a little maybe effeminate or kind of like. Not the feminine, just pansy, kind of like Democrat, like a male Democrat. They always come off like this. Because they have to prostrate themselves and be like, I'm just a dumb white man and I'm going to learn the Somalian language. But he's calculating and ruthless and maintained power. You might know him from recently winning his mayoral re-election campaign. Everyone thought it was over for Jacob Frey, the Somalian that was running against him in the Twin Cities, right? Isn't Jacob Frey mayor of Minneapolis? Wait, is that the Twin Cities? What the heck is the Twin Cities, chat? The Twin Cities, yeah, Minneapolis and St. Paul. And Jacob Frey, it's just hand of the Somalians. Have you seen your city lately? It's Somalians. They're out there. They're speaking. You're out there dancing their dance. Mic check, mic check. Mic check, mic check, mic check. Oh, man, y'all left. You guys are saying typical, but it's why does this happen? I can be in my own studio. I could be here in the office. It just happens to... They're different. They're totally different systems. They're completely different timings. No, let me not. I can accept that. You know what? I can accept that. I'll accept it. How long was I buffering? What's the last thing I was saying? We're good. We're back. It's looking good on my end. Thank you, folks, for the patience. Although I think. Never mind. Y'all don't have patience. Half of you left. That's okay though. I understand. 1, you guys are saying 2, 3, iffy. Darn. Is Billiam Bad juju. It's the bad juju, Kevin. It's really on me. Like, Hake has good juju. So anyways, I'm going to keep going because I think we're okay. Jacob Frey. I was in the middle of Jacob here. Mic check, mic check. That's that white man juju spell. So where was I? Because this was... Look, this guy is fascinating. Ooh, it's saying bad. Bill, what's going on here? Don't you go firing false accusations. I'll have you deported. I can accept that, alias. I need to overcome anger. Can't remember saying something about being sweaty. About I don't know. Maybe Bill could help, but I don't know if he could. Mic check, mic check. We're going to try again. Mic check, mic check. I'm going to chalk it up to bad juju. And if I have bad juju right now, then I deserve more buffering. This is simply a test. I accept. God, I accept. No, I'm joking. God's testing me. No, I'm just joking around. God's sending me this test. And if you have bad attitude about it, it'll happen again. This is your lesson, Nick. Nah, I'm messing around about God. What a terrible thing to say about him. How is Nit teleporting like that? I didn't teleport. I got up, got and sat down, but in between the buffer, you saw me. It was in between the buffer. I think we're back. YouTube is saying errors, so it could very well be not bad, not good. You guys are saying good, so I'm gonna keep it going. Throw some holy water on it. Hake is back there unplugging the Ethernet cord and plugging it back in. So where was I? Look, I really want to tell you about Jacob Frey. I love Jacob Frey. So I'm going to keep going. You tell me if I'm buffering. But I want to tell you about Jacob Frey. You were saying something about a sharp commenter in your chat? I love Jacob Frey. He should be, I was telling you, he should be like a fiefdom ruler. If we were to like own Somalia and install Jacob Frey, he would be fantastic. Speak Somalian to them, but, you know, own the place and run it. It's like, and have a limiting factor on those people. But, you know, they'll be like, wow, he loves us. He's like, hey, so he speak their language, do their dance, and be like, I'm here for you. Jacob Frey, America's here for you. And they were like, we love our rulers. We love our rulers. We love Jacob Frey. That's what Jacob Frey should be doing. Using using all of his skills over there.
That's not American. That's not what we are about. And we're going to do right by every single person in our cities. And so, to our Somali community.
Pronounced Frey or Fry? I'm gonna let you hear him say. I'm gonna let you hear him say it. I think he said Fry. In this video, I'm gonna play it again. He says he's responding to this idea of ICE coming in to Minneapolis.
That's not American. That's not what we are about. And we're going to do right by every single person in our cities. And so, to our Somali community. Daman Shabka, Somalied Kunul, Minnesota, Garahan, Minneapolis, Waan, Kuji Janila Hai, Waan, Ku Gereb, Taganahan. That's not American.
You're taking this in? You see what I'm saying? We need to be using him. He was like, when his re-election for mayor came up, when it was 2020, it was Black Lives Matter, right? So, okay, let me see here. Everybody cares about this. Okay, I'm going to go out there. I'm going to do the Cupid shuffle to the left, to the left. I'm going to do the Cupid shuffle with the blacks. Okay, I'm going to do a little dance. I'm going to be like, Black Lives Matter. And then what happens? So now Somalians, he's looking around. He's like, okay, I'm going to do a little Somalian dance. I'm going to learn their language. I heard there was a bunch of Somalians making TikTok videos about Jacob Frey and how he capitalized, and that's according to them. I don't know how true this is, but that he capitalized on inter-Somalian community disputes. And he was able to expertly use that for his political gain. You see what I'm saying? We need to use Jacob Frey. We need to own parts of the world and install him to just keep it chill and have them stay over there. And, just keep it chill because we own it. Right? So instead, he's over here talking about ICE, saying, yeah, by the way, Somalians. And he says, what's un-American? And in the very same sentence about what's un-American, the ICE coming in here and terrorizing what he would call Americans as un-American. Then he goes off and speaks some foreign babbling, foreign babbling. So un-American. Here's a longer clip of this, and I think he even says his own name. Let's watch.
Good afternoon. My name is Jacob Frey.
Ooh, there it is.
I'm the mayor of Good afternoon. My name is Jacob Frey.
That's Frey.
I'm the mayor of Minneapolis, and we are here to respond to a number of credible reports from several media outlets relaying that there are as many as 100 federal agents that will be deployed to the Twin Cities with a specific focus on targeting our Somali community. To our Somali community, we love you and we stand with you. That commitment is rock solid. Minneapolis is proud to be home to the largest Somali community in the entire country. They've been here for decades, in many...
Like 2 decades, Jacob Frey. They've been here for decades. See what I've been telling you? This is their mentality. They're just as American. They're no different. They're just as American. It's like, that's not even true what he's saying. They were saying 1970, over 90%. We're getting to 1990. We're still at 78% white. You want to say they've been here for decades. Minneapolis, 2 decades. 2 decades. You see how they stretch language and definitions? You think he doesn't know that? Or in a sense, it could very well be he doesn't know that and someone just told him they've been here for decades. He's like, yeah.
Many instances. They're entrepreneurs and fathers. They benefit both the culture and the economic resilience of our city. Targeting Somali people means that due process will be violated. Mistakes will be made. And let's be clear, it means that American citizens will be detained for no other reason than the fact that they look like they are Somali.
That is a fine reason. Where do you think it's like, hey, we need to figure out if these Somalians are illegals and scammers and should they be here or not? What's that going to require? What's that going to require, Jacob Frey? To go and target Somalians. It's like the Latinos out here in LA. They're targeting brown people. It's like, they're really going to go around and say that Mexicans are brown? Really? You're going to say Mexicans are brown? How dare you? How dare you? What kind of backwards thinking is that? That's how they think. They were out here saying to carry your passports because they're targeting brown people to deport illegals. Where do the illegals come from? So you're mad that Mexicans are brown. Don't get mad at ICE for that. That's the wrong person. You got the wrong, you're complaining to the wrong people. Take it up with your parents, with God or something, but ICE is not at fault for making Mexicans brown, okay? So you can drop that. ICE didn't make Mexicans browns, and I don't know why you hate Mexicans being brown. I don't know why you have a problem with that. ICE didn't do that, and I don't know why you have a problem with that, but Mexicans are brown, okay? Somalians are from Somalia. Okay.
Is not now and will never be a legitimate reason. For decades, the Somali community has added greatly to our city. The economic fabric, their hard work, their leadership, it has made Minneapolis a better place. We are not given advance notice or inside information about these kinds of operations. But here's what we can promise. We will not compromise our values here in Minneapolis. Our values and our commitment to the Somali community, to every community of immigrants and people in our city, is rock solid and will be unwavering.
Why? Again, the thinking is because they're here. But why are they here? Well, they're here. And they're now suddenly as Americans, so how dare you?
Our police, many of whom are Somali themselves, are trusted partners in keeping people safe. They will not collaborate with any federal agency around doing immigration enforcement work.
Okay, another mayor coming out with brazen disavowals of the federal authority. Brandon Johnson, Chicago, right? Outwardly avowing, saying we will defy the president and their authority and ICE, and these are federal agents. This is not just like a political, it's just justices, and it's like, hey, I disagree with that ruling. This is like people are saying big words about it, sedition, treason, and so that's part of why this is so significant as well. What's going to happen with all this? It get spicy? Are we going to be jailing mayors? What's going to happen with that? So them not wanting to cooperate with the cops is kind of significant there. But man, what can I tell you about Jacob Frey? We should have him owning like a fiefdom of sorts. I mean, when you just look into like what he did to like get that Somali vote and maintain his power, they went right away. They wasted no time. Jacob Frey's team established what they call like an East African community outreach team. They started paying like 20 people right away who could speak all the languages, and they were in there. I don't know what Omar Fateh was doing, but I think he was sleeping. They had an East African outreach team right away. Satellite offices in heavily Somali neighborhoods. Okay, and here's the kicker. What were these East African outreach teams and satellite offices doing? Because they tell you here in New York Sun, they tell you what were all the Somali voters so happy about. And let me tell you, it's more Somali police, Somali involvement in city government, issues affecting our ethnic identity, affordability for Somalis, representation for Somalis, housing, so free stuff. That was you probably knew that. You probably knew that, but I'm telling you, I'm at least reporting to you, you can confirm this from the news. So he went hard. Jacob Frey. Ruthless. Cold. With a smile. It's like, I'm getting that power. I'm not letting it go. And that's the kind of ruthlessness we need, right, to deal with like Somalians and like, you know, like populations like that, but like out there somewhere. What else about this though? East African outreach, free stuff. Yeah, they're telling them to call 911 if ICE shows up. Have we seen this? Did Brandon Johnson say stuff like this? This looks crazy. It's supposed to be who's this guy? I think he's the police chief. This is your police chief. Looks like a white man. He looks like he shouldn't be saying this.
Folks that are masked, that they're not sure if they're law enforcement, that they may be kidnapping people. Like, we have had those reports. I want to be clear to the community. The community should know that if you see something like that is legitimate, that you don't know if someone is law enforcement, you should call 911. And you should provide as much information as possible, because let's not forget, We very recently had tragedy in this state by someone who was purporting to be law enforcement. So please, let's be clear. That's something everyone should report and that we will immediately respond to and we will document, whether it's somebody's not sure if there's a kidnapping happening, somebody's not sure if there's law enforcement present or not. And that's something else that's additional policy requirements that we are implementing, that we will document and report these types of things anytime that we hear it, and reminding our officers of their duty to intervene. So if there is anything that is, a violation of someone's human rights or civil rights, excessive force or anything like that, they absolutely have a duty to intervene as police officers.
So it's so weird, right? Like gray areas, just kind of stretching it all into one thing, right? Call 911 because, that guy you heard about that guy that was impersonating cops or hurt somebody? We can't have that happen to you. So, and it's just wrong, excessive force and human rights. Wait, hold on. Make this clear. Are you saying, hey, protect yourself because some people could be impersonating, but otherwise it's all legal and kosher, so you got to let it happen. Excessive force is wrong, but, these are law enforcement. Or is he saying, like, is he just talking about ICE in general? You see how it's all, like, just blended in? Stretching definitions. Oh, they'll call it excessive force and going beyond what the law is allowed to do if ICE simply arrests you. That's how these people think. If ICE is simply arresting you, removing you from where you're not supposed to be, that's already excessive force and violence and stuff like that. Don't you dare ask Grok about the genetic diversity between two tribes in East Africa. But that makes me want to ask Grok. That makes me want to ask Grok that, but I'm not exactly sure what you mean. Anyways. 911. They're telling them to call 911. That's enough out of the Somalians in Minnesota. My bad. I think there's one more thing. They're, I think, trolling the conservatives. Either they're trolling or saying, or mask off. Either way, it's not good. Either way is not good. I don't know what. Oh, jeez, dude. Really? Why is that still so loud? I have it so low now. I gotta put it all the way down. They're saying Minnesota was promised to them 3,000 years ago. Let's rejoice in the beautiful game. And together at the end of the day, we all say, when I get up. Minnesota's promise to us? Actually, I don't know why this was even getting people's goat. I mean, is this guy just trolling you guys? He just shared a video and said, it was just promised to us 3,000 years ago. Why do you love Minnesota so much? I actually don't get this post, whatever. Oh, because my people are here. You guys can't even see it. So anyways, I don't even get this post. He's just trying to troll people, I think. This was promised to us. This was promised to us 3,000 years ago. I think he's just trying to troll people. But anyways. Anyways, shall we? Shall we keep it pushing? Let me cheat here. Let me see here. Thanks for the support, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Brandon G. Fontes over there on Rumble. Some of my Rumble folks. Whoa, hold on. Activity alert. We getting Rumble Rants. G. Fontes with the triple back-to-back Rumble Rants. I do appreciate it. I want to get to you. Excuse me. G. Fontes says the Federal Reserve created every dollar/debt note in circulation, plus interest on our own money. We owe them nothing, and it can be dissolved by an act of Congress. I don't know if I've never heard that. Our debt, and so who we owe? Yeah, I've always heard that. Our national debt. Who do we owe? You're saying we owe the Federal Reserve? I remember looking into that question, but I'm forgetting everything I looked into about who we owe the debt to. The national bank's theory is that by adding interest to every dollar created, the debt can never be repaid, and its secret ownership group will keep making fortunes with bribes their only investment. If the Federal Reserve Bank was ended in the USA, every American would automatically be worth $300,000 more than they are today, and that number keeps rising every day. I'd love to hear your thinking more on some of these things for my own understanding, but man, G. Fontes, thank you for the Rumble Rants. Some of these threads I'm going to have to pull on my own. Fascinating. We owe them nothing. The National Bank's theory is that adding interest to every dollar. So we owe the Federal Reserve. Is that what you're saying? I heard we owed China, but I don't think that's true. Take care, Gregatron. Fascinating. And another one from G. Fonte says, only about 20% of our federal debt is owed to other nations, mostly Japan and China. Fascinating. So we could just not pay it? That'd be so gangster. If that doesn't ruin the global economy, not that I even know how that would happen or where that would work. If that doesn't ruin the global economy, that'd be so gangster. Maybe even if it does ruin it, but I don't know. Just hey, some of you are cringing, Nick, that's nothing gangster about not paying your bills, sir. But I don't know. I'm just thinking the Fed Reserve, they're just owning us if this is all true, all this debt. And Trump is just yeah, you know what? No. I don't know what I'm saying now. But let's move on. Let's see here. Let's keep it pushing. Let me go down my list here. We're just talking about Jacob Frey and all that. When Democrats get power back, is such a time coming? Is it over for Democrats? Never again. I don't know. But some of these people, they're out there talking about such a day. They're talking about such a time when Democrats are back in power. Remember this guy, George Conway? What's he been up to? George Conway, we saw him during the first Trump. I mean, this is when I saw him. He may have been around doing politics and all that. George Conway. See, George here, we know George. I know him from the first Trump term. Now, let me see. Did he divorce this woman or is he married? Is he still married to Kellyanne Conway? Kellyanne Conway, who was in the first Trump admin. You may remember Kellyanne Conway and the controversy surrounding their daughter, acting like a slut out there, I gotta say. Hey, I'm just saying, it's not personal. Remember, women used to be sluts by simply having sex out of wedlock, So, Kellyanne Conway, career woman in the Trump administration, what a mess, was constantly in the news. I don't even know that much because basically, it's a little bit of when there's a divide like this, maybe, the news loves this kind of stuff. But George Conway is a Democrat. He came out as a huge critic And he was just like go on podcasts, talk ish all day. I remember he looked so beta next to his wife. It's like, George, man, go home. Deal with your daughter. Your daughter is a mess. And your wife parades you around. And you hold her coat. She makes you, I don't know if she made you, I don't know what it is. And I just remember this picture. You remember this picture? It's like 2017 or something. Parading around. Your daughter's a mess. Your wife is a girl boss, maybe a little bit. And, oh man, this is not the picture where he's holding her coat or something. It's so funny. His face is so funny. Man, is there not a single high definition picture of this moment? George Conway in the coat. I think it's Yahoo. Yahoo can't do it. Yahoo can't make it happen. Poor Yahoo. Poor Yahoo. Just can't make it happen. It's not even the face I want. It's when he looks so like satisfied with himself. It's so funny. Like anyways, George Conway, where were we? He's making some commentary about what will we do when we're back in power, the Democrats back in power. What are they going to do with it?
I mean, the most important thing is we have a president who is not a criminal. That is the absolutely most important thing.
They love saying that like they're saying anything. Okay, first of all, he's a criminal. Again, remember, this is the whole system, the whole apparatus, the Congress and everybody. They're like, let us all unite and go after this one individual and try everything and bring up anything we can to try and get him with something.
I mean, the most important.
So I'm not really going to sit here and stand with those people and be like, wow, you know what? You guys are real honest people. I'm going to believe everything you say. And every criminal you call a criminal.
Important thing is we have a president who is not a criminal. That is the absolutely most important thing. Other than that, I think what we have to do is figure out what safeguards. And I think this is really, really important for people who are going to be in Congress over the next 2 to 4 years. And I've been thinking about that a lot for some reason. First of all, there has to be accountability of this administration.
That means jail, by the way.
And the bad actors around
accountability. That means like we're going to prosecute them.
Gee, this whole Witkoff thing. I mean, what the hell? And then there has to be kind of a reconstruction here. And this is a critical part of the reconstruction program that lawyers are going to have to figure out mechanisms that are constitutional and draft statutes that, prevent some of this shit from ever happening again, including.
I'm a Democrat. I'm cool. I say the ish. I say ish. I'm with this podcaster woman, or I don't know, Democrat woman. I'm going to clasp my hands. I'm saying something really important right now. Ish. Ish.
Electing a crazy president. One of the things I would want to do if I were ever a member of Congress would be to create a body under the 25th Amendment, Section 4, that would decide the president's capacity separate from the cabinet, which you can do that. I mean, Nancy Pelosi.
So like a tribunal that really gets to pick the president. So some shadow government. He's literally saying this. He's like, I want a tribunal that picks the. We get to pick him.
That
we get to really pick him.
A few years ago,
so that we can never let another Trump happen.
She did it to kind of tweak Trump, but this is a real problem. And DOJ reform is essential. And I think we need to take a very, very close look. And in Congress, ultimately, when we have reached a stage where we can approach normalcy, we have ideas and statutes that are going to put limitations how the president interacts with the attorney general.
You get it, right? He's saying, hey, we're going to just change the laws. Never let another Trump happen again. And put him in jail. We just put him in jail. Hakeem Jeffries.
One thing that's
another Democrat. Listen to him.
The one thing that should be clear to all of these Republican extremists and sycophants and the people who are either actively involved in corruption.
A Republican extremist is someone who supports Trump. Remember that.
Violating the law, engaged in extrajudicial activity, is that the statute of limitations for any crimes being committed now 5 years. It will extend well beyond the end of the Trump administration.
What are you extrajudicial? What is the big crimes that happen? I mean, these people are full of like scams and crimes. The crime upon America they do for decades of not fixing anything, just letting them all in, letting the criminals out, and with all your little reasoning is because it's racism. Sitting around fat, making money. and they want to put Trumpers in jail. Okay, I don't know what Trump should do, but honestly, I don't know, folks. It's like what I'm trying to say here now is that tough action is like, and I mean this like politically. I'm not even thinking about fighting and war and death. I'm just thinking about tough political action that some might call fascism, but just too far. I don't know how to put this. I almost want to say it's time for. I'm just too ignorant for that. But they don't care. And it seems, I think you have every reason to. What am I talking about? I'm being very vague about reason to what. I mean, I'm just saying the reason to do what they're saying. There's like two paths, like Trump was saying, or at a tipping point. They want to tip it over. They want to tip it over. They want to tip it over. But anyways, we'll see what happens with all that. I mean, what can I say? 888-775-3773. How about we get some callers here? We got Kacey out of Seattle, Washington. Kacey, you're on the air. Hello? Hey, Kacey, you're on the air.
Thank you.
What's up, Kacey? First time caller?
No, I talked to you before.
Okay, well, welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. What are you talking about?
Well, we had a whole hour and 40 minutes, talked about a number of things today.
I know.
Do you have a question or comment, Kacey? No problem at all.
No, we were talking, when I talked to you earlier, we were talking about how you sent the anchor baby, right? And you kept that name.
Yeah. They call me the anchor baby. I am the American anchor baby.
Who told you that?
I did.
You claimed it.
Yes. You're saying like who called me that here at Bond?
Oh yeah,
that was my
love the
idea.
Rev.
Like nobody would be calling me that if it wasn't for me.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why do you think that's cool?
I don't know. I love being the anchor baby. It's funny. It came up naturally.
Why is it funny?
Well, allow me to answer. It came up naturally. We were just talking here. I came here and met the guys. Like I loved the show for years and got to meet them and I was telling them about myself and it came up. I told them about my family being my family were illegals here. That's an anchor baby. It's just like the definition of one.
You told the Rev that.
You mean Jesse?
Yeah.
I did. We were talking and
Really?
the guys, well, they were just getting to know me, right? And so upon mentioning such facts, I told them I'm an anchor baby and it stuck. And so I'm answering your question of why do I love being the anchor baby? Partly it just came up naturally. I have no personal offense to it. Everybody knows me as the anchor baby. They come to church and say, hey, you're the anchor baby. So I love being the anchor baby.
You like it?
Yes. Do you find that surprising?
That's your stick? What?
Do you find that like strange or something? I'm not getting you.
I do. I suppose.
Why? Because I don't remember our previous conversation, Kacey. I'll also say that.
That's okay.
That's partly the reason why I don't know how you feel about it.
That's okay. No. Yeah, and
do you accept that though so far as my reasoning? Doesn't that make sense? Like I love it because it's a factual statement. They know me like that. It's like the show that people know me like that, and it's like why would I be mad about? Because everybody who calls me the anchor baby, they don't say it to offend me. The vast majority of people who call me that, they say because you're the guy on the JLP show. We love you because we love Jesse.
Jesse, the Rev. He is something else, isn't he? Which I love him, and I've talked to him on the phone. I love the Rev. He's the something else.
You mean Jesse?
Yeah.
Oh, he never calls himself the Rev, so that's why it confuses me.
Sorry, I call him that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he never calls himself people call him Reverend. He says, just call me Jesse. Okay, go ahead.
Yes. So, So you're okay. So your parents. So I'm adopted, right?
Okay.
I am half Jamaican and half British. But I was adopted when I was here in Seattle, right? 10 days old. So I grew up here. But I've never referred to myself as like an anchor baby. Like, what?
So your parents, your biological parents, were they, you're telling me your biological parents were Jamaican and British?
Yeah, correct.
And where did they have you? Where were you born?
Seattle.
Seattle. So you were born in Seattle and your parents are foreign. Yes. A Brit, not an American.
They were born
a Jamaican,
here,
not an American. They were also born here?
Yeah.
Ah. I mean, you could still be an anchor baby. Yeah, because think about it. It's like personally, look, the term anchor baby comes from like illegals. But you can extend it a little bit. You can extend it a little bit because it can also extend to the people who received birthright citizenship. Would you agree or disagree?
I don't know why I have a problem with you calling yourself that, right? You're your own person. You can call yourself whatever you want.
Yeah, no, we know that. We can move on from that. But take this in. We all know that. That's cool. And I appreciate you being offended for me or something, but we all know that. We're cool. But let's deal with the term anchor baby. Do you disagree? Would you disagree that that's not a factual statement?
I agree.
Right. So the children of illegals / birthright citizenships.
Loves you. He watches your show. He does that thing where you do the thing on the plane. I was
cool.
Like, what?
Hey, shout out.
I was like, what is that?
Let's go. We got a faithful passenger on the plane. I'm your captain speaking, the American anchor baby.
You are not flying a plane right now.
Not right now.
Yeah.
But join us Friday and we just might.
Right. So you identify with that?
No. You mean identify with being an anchor baby? No. It's just like a funny thing. It's also a factual statement. Why would I get offended at a fact?
Sure.
It's like someone saying, Nick, you have curly hair.
No.
When someone says you're an anchor baby, it's like they're just saying, Nick, your parents were either illegals or you got citizenship through birthright through the birthright thing. So why would I get offended at that? It's just a fact. I did get citizenship through birthright citizenship. And
because your parents were foreign and they had you here?
Correct. And so I became a citizenship through birthright. But that's not what that amendment wasn't meant to give me citizenship.
Trump,
did you know that?
Back?
I'm fine with it. And I support it.
You're fine with it?
I support it, yes.
You support it, so then you'd be sent back?
That doesn't necessarily mean that. It doesn't necessarily mean that. But I accept that it might.
And what would you do? Where would you go?
I really don't know where they'd send me. I think they would just send me out of here, and then I guess maybe I get to choose where to go. I might go to Canada. But let's say
I don't think you'd get to choose.
Oh, you don't think so? Why not?
No, I think they would send you back to your birthright, like your parents.
Well, but wait. But then once I'm there, wouldn't I just get to do whatever I want and like escape there? I'd go to Canada maybe, or let's say imagine Canada doesn't let me in either.
Wait. Where are your parents from?
Colombia.
Colombia.
Yeah. But I have a Canadian citizenship too. That's the thing. Yeah, Colombia, South America.
So your parents are from Colombia.
South America.
Like Colombia.
Like Pablo Escobar.
Right. Okay.
So imagine I got sent to Colombia. Let's just imagine for a moment the Canada won't even let me in. Then my life, then I just live a life there and see
where would you go?
I don't know. That's the thing. Well, we don't know such a thing. We can't know such a thing. How can we know such a thing?
But you're okay with him sending you back to wherever?
I wouldn't want such a thing, but yeah, I mean, I've thought about this so much. Don't swear. Right. It's far too early.
Oh, sorry.
Act
so
like
sorry.
a lady,
sorry,
Kacey.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. It's
sorry,
okay.
Lovely.
Don't worry.
Sorry.
Thank you for apology. Totally accepted.
I'm so sorry.
But I'm going to be honest with you. It's not something I want. I like my life here. I consider myself American on the inside, so to speak. But
you get
let me answer. Let me just answer real quick. Sure, I don't want such a thing, but what was I saying there? It's simply it would just simply be a reality. I mean, it's not the end of life. And here's the thing: even though I don't want it, I've honestly thought about this enough. I've thought about this quite a bit that I've just concluded that in my head, and I think that's enough to be okay with it. That might just be enough. Should such a thing happen, it would essentially, I would be okay with it because I've thought about it enough. So I know my life wouldn't end.
You could stay at my house.
No, but I'm not going to be an illegal. I'm not going to do that. Here's the thing. No. You're also in your head about it because who's to say any of that is going to happen or should? Let's say they were to fix birthright citizenship and retroactively remove all the wrong citizenships.
They can't do that.
I don't know. Never say never. But let's imagine for a moment they did. Okay. Who's to say that means? Okay. Who's to say that doesn't mean I get to be a permanent resident? Maybe I get to apply and show, hey, look how many years I've been working and all this, and they'll let me.
They don't care.
You don't know these things. Again, you're in your head, and I'm telling you, like, should it be all the way? I would support it because it's wrong what's happening, and I grew up in these countries, and I know that if it continues this way, it would be the end, and so out of love, I support it.
What do you think about people?
Do you agree that? Do you agree it would be the end of America if they keep letting in all these people?
No.
You don't agree it would be the end, and why do you think that?
I don't think that.
If all Americans were replaced, let's take a very radical situation. If I snap my fingers and replaced all the white people with immigrants.
I'm going to answer your question, but go ahead.
Apologies. It's just I want to get to it, but we're like a few minutes from the end. But please, speak on what you were going to speak on. My apologies.
Oh, no. I was just going to say, like, go ahead, love.
Because the question is, will America still be America if they let in all these people? And I wanted to give you, like, a radical situation to see how you think. Because if I snapped my fingers and replaced all the white people here with immigrants, would it still be America?
Yeah.
And why?
That's the whole point of America.
Explain.
We let in, like, that was the whole point. Like everybody came in. They were all immigrants.
Who?
Everybody.
Who came in?
Irish people, American.
Irish people didn't come until way later. America was already created by then.
No, but you know what I'm saying.
I don't know. I want you to be specific. I don't know what you're saying.
Okay. All right. You're testing me.
No, I just want you to... No, please, go ahead. No problem. No, it's not a test. You can speak freely. You don't have to worry about saying the wrong thing or anything, but I do want you to answer yourself.
No. That's how America got started. Everybody came here from somewhere else. They came here from British. They came here from Ireland. They came here from wherever.
They only came from, like, Britain.
Fine.
It was like white Anglo-Europeans.
Oh, sorry.
Did you swear? I barely heard that one, but keep it chill. Come on.
Thank you.
Listen,
I'm
the Irish came later.
And British.
Right. The Irish came later. The Ellis Island immigrants that included Italians and Irish came after.
Here.
Yeah, but remember, you're saying America was created by all these people that came over. But all these people are just Anglo-European British people. So what is all these people you're talking about? You're making it sound like you're making it sound. Wait, let me answer. Let me just respond real quick. Casey. Casey, let me finish my sentence. You're making it sound like all these people is like you're making it sound like all the peoples of the world came and created America. That's not true. The white Anglo-European British people came, and then the Irish and the Italians came, and then way later, everybody else came. And by the way, when the Irish and Italian came, that wasn't like all hunky-dory. There was huge problems. They were saying, man, these Italians and Irish are changing our country.
Sure. Okay, but like indigenous people, they were here first.
Wait, what?
Indigenous people were here first.
Oh, that wasn't America, though. That was a different thing.
Well, they were here first.
And so what's your point with that?
I mean, they were here first. So
I don't get your point.
Anybody else that came was second.
Oh no, not to America. America didn't exist then. The people.
It did though.
So you're going to tell me?
How
Let me ask you this. This will clear it up. If you answer this question, this will clear this up. Do you believe the indigenous tribes like the Hopi and the Pueblo that were here before the settlers came? You believe they created America?
Yeah, they were here.
You believe they had a country called America? The country we know today?
Yeah.
Well, you know that's not true. You know that's ridiculous on its face. Come on. No, the Pueblo.
What are you talking about?
That's not.
They were here first.
Okay, let me explain.
Maybe
you don't
first.
understand. Allow me to explain this
Okay.
very briefly. The Pueblo, the Hopi,
I'm listening to you.
the Pueblo, the Hopi, and all these indigenous tribes that were here before the settlers, they warred with each other. They had their own areas and so to speak, nations. They were at war with each other. So to pretend like they had an America.
They were here first.
I know, but here's what I'm trying to say. They didn't create America as we know it. It was those white people, those white British people that we're talking about. And that's not even controversial. That's just a fact. I'm not disagreeing with you that they were here first in a sense, but the conversation we were having was about who created America, and you're saying all the people of the world came here to create it, and that's just not true.
I just don't think that you should give white people this credit because they didn't.
You're jumping around a bunch, Kacey, and we're just 5 minutes away from the end of the show. And I can't pin you down here, Kacey. So
I love you.
I'll put it like this. I give the white people the credit where it's due. Do you?
Oh, no.
Can you call me again and we
White
can talk
people
about
don't
why
get
I shouldn't
credit.
give them that?
They don't get credit.
And I want to hear you.
Credit because they weren't here first.
I want to hear what you think about this. Can you call me again?
Sure.
Kacey, we're 3 minutes away from the end, and I have to let you go.
Okay.
I appreciate your call.
All
Please
right,
call me
bye.
again.
Okay, love.
Bye. Kacey, Seattle, shout out. Call me again. We got to go, folks. Punchy coming up. Don't miss it. Punchy.tv. Punchy.tv/punchy, I think. Punchy TV on YouTube. You don't want to miss it. And that's it from me. Nick showing patience. Look, put it like this. We can argue, we can like discuss and like disagree all day, but I don't know why I'm going into this. Let me move on. I got to go. I had something to say to you guys, but I'll tell you some other time. Take care, folks. Wishing you well. More American Anchor Baby tomorrow. JLP show going hardcore with the Bible Thumper Thursday already. The Hake Report and more. Take care for now. Oh, geez. I'm already saying bye, and I haven't checked this. I don't want to say bye before we check this. Thank you for all the support, the coffees and everything else. Amazing. Rumble Rants. Wow, G Fontes with another one. I'm so glad I checked. With a double, G Fontes says, a must-read book is... And I appreciate the suggestion there, G Fontes. It's a book by... This is someone we know, I think. G. Edward Griffin. I think that wasn't that someone that Jesse, like, talked to or something? So I appreciate that, G. Fontes. Okay, I don't know about that. Called a conspiracy theory, but cannot be debunked, about the meeting of very few rich men leading to the Federal Reserve Act of 1913, which also required the government to then enact the first income tax the very same year. So the government couldn't repay the interest owed on every new dollar since. Fascinating stuff, man. I'm going to pull on this thread, G. Fontes. Appreciate it. All right, now, for realsies, we got to go. See you at Punchy TV, 2 p.m. Pacific time. Aye. Take care for now. Peace.
The views, information, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this show are the individual's own and do not represent the views, thoughts, and opinions of the JLP Network or Bond. Their appearance on the program does not imply an endorsement of them or any entity they represent. The material and information presented here is for general information purposes only. The JLP Network and Bond name and all forms and abbreviations are the property of its owner, and its use does not imply endorsement of or opposition to any specific organization, product, or service.